This is the 5th video in SBP's Recovery Navigation series. Let's talk about cleanup, making temporary repairs, and mold remediation. Some things to know, and some resources available to help you. Before spending any money to hire someone for cleanup, look to see what free assistance may be available in your area. It's common after disaster for trained volunteer groups and faith-based organizations to come into communities to help homeowners with things like debris removal, cleanup, and mold remediation, which helps you save precious recovery funds for other needs. It's also useful to know what you might be able to do yourself. And mold remediation is often one of those things. With the right supplies and by following the right steps, many homeowners can successfully and much more affordably do this themselves. We'll talk more about how to do this in a minute. Crisis Cleanup is a free service that can help connect you to some of those reputable and vetted relief groups who may be providing cleanup support in your area. Be sure to call the hotline before the deadline and to let them know what needs you may have. Services are not guaranteed, but it's a great way to reach out and ask for assistance in the event that there may be groups providing those services in your area. Please remember that this is a time-limited service, so you do need to call before the program deadline in order to submit your request. A few tips for the cleanup process. If you've had water damage in your home, be sure to leave a water line visible on one wall or window for the inspectors or adjusters to see before completing your cleanup. As we've mentioned before, unless they pose a health risk, so things like spoiled food, don't have damaged items hauled away until after inspectors or adjusters see them, if at all possible. Be sure to document thoroughly with photos either way, but especially if you do have to throw out items before an inspector is able to see them. Finally, as we've talked about, be sure to make reasonable temporary repairs to prevent further damage, but be judicious about what you spend on temporary repairs. These costs come out of your total recovery funds, and it takes away from what you have available to spend on permanent repairs. So you need to make temporary repairs, but try to do so as economically as possible so you can save more money for permanent repairs. Mold is a common problem after flooding, especially in warmer climates, and it can be harmful to your family's health, particularly if anyone has mold allergies or a weakened immune system. Mold grows both on and below the surface in materials like wood, so it must be properly remediated before repairs and rebuilding can begin in order to prevent regrowth. However, mold remediation is often something you can do yourself with the right supplies and process, along with some help from family, friends, or other volunteers. SBP's guide will walk you step by step through the process of how to remediate mold in your own home safely and effectively. It's important to take care of any mold issues as soon as it is safe to do so. Mold grows very quickly after water exposure, even if you can't see it. The CDC recommends that anything that was wet with floodwater and not able to be completely cleaned and dried within 2 days to be tossed out. So the quicker that you can address any mold issues you have, the less work it will be and the less expensive it will be for you in the long run. Guidelines for mold cleanup. First, you need to fix any water problems right away and thoroughly dry out your home. Clean and dry all contaminated items completely. This is especially important as not only can floodwaters cause mold, but they may have brought contaminants into your home, like sewage or industrial waste. So we want to make sure this is properly cleaned. Hard surfaces, things like plastic and metals, can generally be scrubbed with detergent and hot water and dried. Porous materials like insulation or carpeting generally must be thrown out because we can't completely clean and dry them, so they will remain contaminated and mold will continue to grow. After that, you'll need to properly clean all exposed wood framing with a fungicide that's designed to kill mold growing on and below the surface. If you don't kill mold roots, it can grow back. Then you'll remove the dead mold because it can still cause an allergic reaction even after it's been killed, and then dry the area out thoroughly. If any clearance inspections or certifications are required to verify that your mold remediation has been successful, this must happen before you begin repairs or rebuilding. Critical for successful mold remediation, and by extension your family's health and safety, is to use the right cleaning agents. Bleach is not the right cleaning agent for mold remediation. It's effective at killing mold on hard surfaces only. It cannot clean below the surface, and so it can't kill mold roots in materials like wood, meaning mold will regrow. Neither the EPA nor the CDC recommend using bleach for mold remediation. SBP and other organizations like ours that provide mold remediation assistance after disasters use a fungicide, which is a cleaning agent designed to kill mold and prevent regrowth across the range of surfaces found in your home. These are commonly available at local home improvement stores. If you do mold remediation, you need to use the right cleaning agent to ensure that you will be successful. Taking advantage of any qualified volunteer groups who may be able to help with cleanup, proactively addressing any mold that may be growing in the home, and using the right supplies and the right steps to remediate mold will both help get your home ready for repairs and also help save precious recovery dollars for other needs. In our next video, we'll talk about the repairs and rebuilding process, things to know, how to find a qualified and reputable contractor to work with, and how to protect yourself against fraud. As always, for more information about SBP, visit sbpusa.org and feel free to contact us with any questions at training@sbpusa.org.